The Canarian government have just issued an alert the last couple of hours, two alerts in fact. One for the extreme temperatures that are due to be coming and winds, and also for forest fires. Now you may think there's not much to burn on Gran Canaria, but everywhere around is a tinderbox and the fire burns slightly different. It jumps around and blows with the wind. So let me tell you a little bit about what the alerts are actually saying at the moment. So Gran Canaria is expected to be the worst affected initially, and it is already starting with the hot temperatures. From Thursday 11 a.m. there's no end date for the alert, and it's for all the Canary Islands. It is for maximum temperatures, and it will be increasing to all the islands, particularly on Friday and through the weekend. There's a body of warm air that is coming over from Africa, and the temperatures are expected to be here from 34 degrees and at the weekend from 38 degrees. And remember, them temperatures are from in the shade. It's not the temperature that's in the street. They're expecting like Kalima. They've got less than 30% humidity at the moment. So they're expecting moderate winds from the northeast, and there will be a localized strong intervals of strong gusts, and this is a worst nightmare if we do have a fire on the island. The only islands initially that are not particularly included is Fuerteventura and Lanzarote in regards to the forest fires. What you do if you're on holiday and there is a fire? If you're in a hotel, no problem. The reception will keep you informed of what to do. If you're in an Airbnb and renting, it's slightly different. You'll probably get a knock on the door, and if you do, follow instructions exactly as to what you need to do. Don't fuss. Get your passport and the keys, switch off the electricity if you know where it is, and leave and follow the instructions that you are given. If the police aren't knocking, usually neighbours are around and will knock on the door to advise you. If you're unsure what to do, the best place to go is a Spanish bar. Spanish people in Spanish bars, they know everything that's happening, and you will be forewarned exactly what is happening and what you need to do. If you're renting, it would be advisable to bring in things that you can bring in from outside in case of fire. You don't need to bring it in immediately, but if you start smelling fire in the air, or you're advised that a fire is not too far away, then bring in flammable things. Anything that you can bring in that is flammable, bring it inside the house. While we are in this period of alerts for forest fires, it's probably not advisable to go walking up in the mountains. If you do go in the mountains, then do advise people where you are. And if you find yourself in a situation where there is fire, then you should dial 112. 112 is the emergency number here in the Canaries, in all of Spain, and their operators do speak English. If your original operator is not speaking English, they will put you in contact with one of the operators that do speak English. We've got a very big emergency centre up in Las Palmas. I've been inside it. I see how they work. Very organised, very well coordinated. Also, if you do feel the need to venture out into the island, put your GPS on your phone so people can find you in case you need to be rescued. If you feel uncomfortable, or you can smell a lot of smoke in the air and nobody has told you what to do, head to the beach. The beaches are the usual meeting points for all the locals and the authorities, and we've got a lot of police and coordination will be there to assist you. Previously, we've had situations where we've had big fires and everyone gets evacuated to the beach. The sports halls are usually made for accommodation for people who have been relocated from inside the island. If there is a fire and an emergency, the best course of action is not necessarily to contact the consulate or anything like that. You just follow local advice. Local radio stations and local TV stations will have a banner running. Obviously, it will be in Spanish. But if you find your way to a Spanish bar, or even if you're in a British bar, there will be somebody there watching the TV who will be able to advise you on what to do and where to go. The recommendations, as advised, I'm reading it out to you because it is in Spanish. At this time, don't be throwing, it's obvious advice. Don't be throwing cigarettes, even if you think you put them out, you haven't. Do not be smoking outside anywhere in the mountains. Don't be setting off fireworks. Obviously, if you're on holiday, you're not going to be doing fireworks, but don't be having barbecues outside. Remember the country code that we were always taught when we were younger. This is what you need to be doing. Particularly, don't be leaving rubbish around because it can be flammable. And that doesn't apply to you. Doesn't apply if you're renting somewhere and you are not in the main tourist areas. It does advise to have your hose pipe attached and ready to go if necessary. Animals in the house you won't have with you. If you're surprised by fire, stay calm and call 112. That's a Spanish emergency line. If you have to leave the property, if you choose to leave the property or you are told to leave the property, and don't argue with the police if they tell you to leave. They're saying if you can, to switch off the electricity in the power grid, the main one, switch the electricity off. Don't worry about losing everything in the freezer. It doesn't matter. Switch off the gas. You probably won't have gas. And it says to get your passport, your money and your medicine. Close the doors and windows. If you find yourself in a smoky environment, wet a cloth and put it over to close the doors and the windows. This is obvious stuff, you do know this. Obviously over your mouth if it is you're in a lot of smoke. This probably won't happen, but this is the advice that they're giving. It says follow the instructions. If you're in a car, you should stop in a protected place. If you can't keep going, close the doors, the windows to keep the smoke from inside the car, and put your lights on. It says if you find a wild animal injured, put a cloth over it or clothing and put it in your car if you can. And if you can't, then contact the authorities. Like I say, 112 is the number that you need to be remembering because you are in Spain. This is not 999 like in the UK, 112. And it says to follow the evacuation routes. As I say, we've got a lot of police, we've got several levels of police and protection, and they are well versed in exactly what to do because we have had several occasions in the past when we've had bad fires. Okay, what else have we got? So we have an alert for adverse weather situation. And this is by the Canarian government for maximum temperatures in all of the Canaries. It is for an episode of high temperatures which is going to be lasting several days. And the beginning of it is expected to be today, Wednesday, and it will be worse in the islands orientales, especially Gran Canaria. So Gran Canaria is the one that they are most highlighting. It is a situation of intense and extended progression to the rest of the islands, the rest of the Canary Islands, from Friday and during the weekend. The weather models that they've analysed show that there's a consistent evolution for a arrival of a big body of hot air, hot and dry air coming over from Africa. They're expecting the maximum temperatures equal or more, which doesn't quite make sense, but they're expecting above of 34 degrees centigrade in the insides and halfway down the islands. At the same time, they are expecting temperatures of up to 33 degrees in the inside of Fuerteventura and of between 32 and 33 in the inside of Tenerife, and it will be extending to all the islands. The arrival of the African air will be accompanied by a light Kalima. Well, we've already got a light Kalima here and the winds are already coming up. And it will have considerable concentrations of dust in the air, which is the Kalima. So they are analysing this situation and they will be further alerts. Now, once, if it's going to get worse, they will issue further alerts, and when the alert situation ends, they will advise us that the alert has finished. And this is a press release. The government's declared an alert of risks of forest fires in the islands, and particularly Gran Canaria. Just telling you who it is. And they are saying that the alert for fires is from roughly 11 o'clock on Thursday the 30th of July. And they've got information from the Spanish Met Office and other organisations, and they have their plan. They're applying the plan of protecting people and the attention of emergencies for fires, forest fires in the Canarian region. The areas that are affected, that they're given the alert for forest fires, is El Hierro, La Gomera, La Palma, Gran Canaria and Tenerife. And their observations within this press release is there's going to be an episode of high temperatures for many days, and it is expected to begin Wednesday. And again, particularly Gran Canaria, it will intensify and be extended, progressive extending for the rest of the islands from Friday and throughout the weekend. The models that they've analysed show that there's a consistent evolution of an arrival of a big body of hot air, hot and dry air from Africa, from the continent of Africa. We're very close to Africa. They're expecting again about the temperatures of the hot temperatures 34 plus in the south and the west of Gran Canaria. So if you're on holiday, that's the areas you're going to be in. Where it's going to increase to around 38 degrees. So the temperature you've got now, it's going to be a lot hotter than what it is now. And that's going to be this weekend. So it's going to be a really hot weekend. That's the other islands, not so important. Well, it is for them, but not for us. Saying again, it could be accompanied by weak dust, and if it's coming and it's not here, you will already see we have dust in the air. It's not bright blue, the skies, because we have dust in the air, so that is going to intensify. There's a particular meteorological thing that makes it particularly bad in the centre and halfway up in the centres of the island, which gives it the conditions for forest fires. You think it's in the middle of the island, it's not going to affect you. Wait till I tell you the forest fires that we've had and the evacuations we've done before. So this configuration of the hot air and the dryness, this less than 30% humidity in the air, well, you'll feel that already. And because of, the wind will be coming from the northeast with a moderate intensity. And there will be times when it's going to be stronger winds coming in. The actual wind strength and how much of a factor that's going to be, they are monitoring that situation, so they will be increasing the information they give. But basically they're saying it is a high risk for fire in the forests, especially Friday and Saturday. At this minute in time, it is just an alert that's flat out. There's no changes to it. It's an alert that's there, and they will update us if they have further advances in their weather forecast. So to do a resume of what you've just heard, we are in a situation of alert for high temperatures, dust that's coming over from Africa, and winds which could be strong. This means that we have we're on high alert for forest fires. The hot temperatures, you've come on holiday for the hot temperatures. That's what you're expecting. I don't need to nanny you, you know exactly how to behave in hot weather. But forest fires is completely different. If you are advised to evacuate where you are, follow the instructions. Don't panic. The authorities will be very clear on what the instructions are. So don't panic and just follow the instructions. Well, you can't see the sun already because we've got the dust. So the sun's hiding behind the dust. But when the fires come, you will smell it before it comes, and it can move quite fast. If you're advised to evacuate, or if you smell smoke and you feel uncomfortable, head to the beach. The beach is always the collecting point, the information point. If people are evacuated, they are evacuated down to the beach, and that is the safest place to be. So let me tell you about my experience. I've been here a long time. We've had several occasions where we've had red alerts for different reasons. Winds, I've seen palm trees bend at 90 degrees. I remember storms that have come in that haven't quite got into the house in time. I thought I had a couple of hours spare. The storm came in early, and I've had bloody legs. My daughter's had bloody legs from stones being whipped up and breaking the skin because we didn't quite get home in time. I've been here in flooding, and I've been here in fires. We had a fire alert, an evacuation. We were pre-evacuation. We were literally minutes away from evacuation just a couple of years ago. The wind changed luckily we were okay, but at that time I knew to listen to local television, and cleared my garden, everything inside my garden, and made arrangements for my own pets. Unfortunately, I had several neighbours who were out that I had to make arrangements for their pets as well. Depending where you are, if you're inside the island and you don't have your own car, the government do put transport on to help people get down to the beach. That is where everyone is relocated, and people that aren't left, the government do have plans in place, emergency plans, which they're already getting ready for, just in case. We've had lots of alerts that have never come, and many of the expats here will be like, oh, another alert. But the thing is, sometimes these things happen. Now, anyone who was not living on the island in 2007 does not quite understand the seriousness of the fires. In 2007, I was running a radio station, and we had a disgruntled forestry worker. He knew that the conditions were ripe for forest fires, and he set, I believe it was 3 fires in 3 points in the island to do maximum damage. These same conditions are what we have now. And what happened was, for days, the air in the south of the island, in all the tourist areas, including Puerto Rico, and the air just smelt of smoke. We had flakes, huge flakes, just like everywhere was covered. All the floor was covered in big flakes of wood, and we were a long way from the forests, but it blows on the wind. And what happens with the fires is that it jumps with the wind. So although you look at the mountains and think, oh, there's a few trees, there's not much on there, the wind blows, the sparks go, and then it just jumps, and it's like, you'll see long black marks. It's like balls of fire that jump all the way down the mountains. And with the wind, it can just a spark. It's a tinderbox here. It will set on fire very quickly. Now, when I was on the radio, it got to the point where even the GC1, that's the main motorway that comes down the east of the island, the GC1 motorway was closed because you couldn't pass it because of the fires. And I was on the radio station. There was a lot of people on holiday. Nobody knew what to do. They were phoning the radio station, and they were all sat out in bars with suitcases. I'm pretty sure the bars did roaring trade for a few days. People inside the island were relocated to the beach. And again, actually, there was only a couple of years ago, the tourist areas weren't affected, but inside the island was affected. There was a huge fire just a couple of years ago, and people relocated. And remember, it's not just fire, it's smoke as well. So yeah, the 2007 fire, it did horrendous damage to the island. Palmitas Park famously burnt down. Very, very sad. And they lifted the lids, so I'm told I wasn't there. I was busy helping people on the radio and then getting home. They lifted the lids off all the bird cages and hoping that they would go, and they relocated the large animals. But there was a lot of damage done to the island. We do have lots of planes, and if there is fires, you will probably see them from the beach before you smell the smoke, because there'll be helicopters coming down with buckets, and they go out to the sea with a big bucket, and they'll be going back and forward to drop it onto the fire. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, in 2007, when we had the huge fire, my daughter ended up being a BBC press packer. They actually sent a camera lady over, and one of the presenters, I still don't know who she is, but my daughter was quite impressed. She was coming over, and I'll see if I can find the pictures from that. They came out and interviewed, because the fires were so big, they were all over the news, as the current fires in Spain are. What else can I tell you? yeah, so the fires we had in 2007, what everyone did was have a go bag, basically, your house papers, your passports, money, toilet roll, water, and yeah, all the things you can need. Just get a bag ready and put it near the door. So if you have to grab and run, you don't have to waste time looking for things. There's lots of stories I could tell you about the 2007 fire, because anyone who lived here will have a lot of stories to tell. It was quite a scary experience. We do have alerts for fires. There is often fires every year to different degrees, but the worst fire was 2007. It's nothing to joke about when we've got the hot temperatures and we've got the winds. Hopefully this is just going to be a nice bit of hot weather for you to enjoy while you're on holiday, but there is potential, and hopefully I've given you enough information of what to do. If you do get a knock on the door, if you are trapped, don't go walking in the mountains at the minute. But the most important thing is, if you smell fire, then it probably is around. The smell does blow on the wind, depends on the direction of the wind. So let's hope that the hot winds aren't too strong if they do come, which we've been told they're coming. And if we do get a fire, then we've got some very, very brave firemen. The temperatures, you think you're hot, they're all wrapped up in their protective gear. They're at the front of the fire, and they're real heroes. So let's hope we don't have any fires and you can do your bit. If we do have any issues, follow instructions. That's all you need to do. Follow instructions, because there is plans in place, well thought out, have been used several times, so they know what they're doing. Follow the instructions, and then you're not a hindrance. And don't think because you can't see the fire, you've got time. Do exactly what you're told when you're told to do it. Hopefully everything will be fine. You can just keep enjoying your holidays and near the beach. Pretty much you'll be okay. But if you do go out and about and you're having a ride around the island, be very careful. Don't be smoking outside. Don't be going taking a little portable barbecue up with you, because the tiniest little thing causes a fire in this tinderbox. And it's a beautiful island. It is a lot of areas UNESCO protected, and the last thing anyone wants is a fire here. So be sensible, and if the worst comes to the worst, do what you're told to do, and don't be a hindrance to the people who are trying to keep everybody safe. So to clarify, most important thing in an emergency, 112. 112 is the emergency number for the Canaries. If you don't speak Spanish, they do speak English. If the initial operator is not understanding you, they will pass you immediately on to an English speaking operator. So that's the most important number that you need when you're here in an emergency, 112. So after all that doom and gloom and worry, I'm not trying to put fear in you. Do enjoy your holiday. It's best to be aware of what the situation is. And if you appreciate the content, please do consider doing a like. There's a thumb just underneath this video, and just to the side you'll see subscribe. Appreciate if you press subscribe, and then I'll keep you up to date with all things here on Access Gran Canaria.